Don't mind the closet. So, going through my art stuff. Close this closet so you can't see my clothes. Going through my art stuff, and I found just a bunch of stuff, right? I started doing art when I was 11. So a lot of my stuff is in crayon, and a lot of it is in like acrylic paint, but I had no idea what I was doing. So I decided I was going to share with you guys just some of the things, just as a comparison of the 9-year journey I had from discovering art to today. I'm not celebrating anything. I just thought that it would be nice to share, just in case anybody out there who is young and aspiring and wants to do art, you know, is like, no, my art's bad. It's never going to be good. But it can be presentable eventually, even if you start out with like this. So I'm gonna do that. First, we're gonna start with the first piece I ever remember making. And that is this. Landscape on a piece of paper that's not for acrylic with nothing in it. And then what else do we have? Oh, we've got this flower. Okay, this flower. I'm like really ashamed of this flower. Look at that. So we've got just a thick stick and no detail. It's just a blue circle with brush marks. Just that's supposed to be a flower. That is supposed to be a flower. We're just gonna leave that at that. What else do we got? There's my paint pad. That's where I mix my paints. That's empty. We've got a couple ocean-based things here. We've got Still acrylic on paper. I didn't have canvases. I was doing this. These are all on paper. These are just all on paper. And then there's this. More acrylic on paper. Great. Again, I'm 11. Please don't kill me for those. Some lovely blank paper. Beautiful blank paper. That's a coloring page that I did. Oh, those are some designs of clothing I did once. I forgot I did that. I used to design clothing because I used to sew a lot. Here's an impression of a leaf. That's what that's called. A leaf impression. No idea why I have this still, but it's in glitter crayons, so obviously it's amazing. Because I was 11, and I loved glitter crayons. Oh. And here's my day-night obsession phase. Here, I got 3 things that are busted up in between day and night. Okay. So, we're going to start with the first one, which is this. Really generic, really plain, right? Sun and moon. Split up between day and night, right? Also in glitter crayon. Very proud of my glitter crayon. I used them as much as I possibly could. And then I did a tree that I didn't actually color in. I just drew it. Just sketched it. Real generic tree. Stars. Just grass. Just beautiful, split up between day and night. I was obsessed with splitting things for like a whole year. Just couldn't stop doing it. And then that was going to be a yin and yang. But it turned out bad. And because I'm a perfectionist, I scribbled over it instead of fixing it. And to fix the yin and yang that I made, I drew this. Yeah. Look at how swanky those eyes are, by the way. Just also in glitter crayon. I can still see the glitter in all of these glitter crayon pictures. Look at that. Look at his eyes. He's so shifty. He's like, oh, I wouldn't trust that man. I wouldn't trust anybody with that kind of face. Oh, and this is hilarious. Okay. So, y'all know, you probably know what ombre is, but ombre is when your light color gradient goes from light, like a light purple, to a dark purple, and it's the gradient of between colors, right? I didn't know the word ombre when I was 11. And I drew ombre when I was 11, but I didn't know the word for it. So instead, I colored it out. And I wrote light, between, and dark, trying to help my mother design her wedding dress. It was ombre, and I did not know that word. I could have Googled it, but I just didn't. Oh, and then this. I drew that with a friend. Had a weird thing for wolves for a while. Okay, so we're just gonna take these comparisons. Just gonna take these comparisons, and we're gonna look at some more recent things. So, the first piece I did after I started taking medications for being an adult, you know, because adulthood just comes with depression apparently, I drew this duck. And I wanted this duck to have texture, because I wanted to experiment with making things not flat. Because I don't know if you noticed, but literally everything I just showed you was super flat. There was nothing in it. So I made this duck. And he looks kind of fuzzy, I think. He's super cute, but like his face freaks me out. I'm not good at faces. Or at least I wasn't. I think I've gotten better at faces. But this face, I mean, look at it. He looks dead. He has no soul. And then why he's in a boot is I tried to draw feet, and I tried to make his legs, you know, duck legs, and duck legs are kind of thin. But I made them too thick. And instead of being able to fix it, because I am not a genius, I just kind of let it dry and figured it out later. And my solution was to make him in a boot. So if you screw up your duck's feet, the moral of the story is if you screw up duck feet, just make it a boot instead. Boom, problem solved. So that was just over a year ago. And then this one's a couple years old. Some of you have probably heard of Undertale. I mean, I know not a lot of people have heard of Undertale, you know, but this is the character from Undertale. He's Flowey the flower, but with a leaf. Because I forgot that Flowey the flower did not have a leaf, and I didn't check before I painted, which is something that you should do. But I made this the year that game came out, and I think I was like 15 or 16 when it came out. And I was really good at doing things from memory, so I was just like, oh, I'm cocky, let me do it from memory. And then now he has a leaf. He's waving at you now. He's sassing me. Oh, and then this little hedgehog I painted this, and he's got some real detail. And he's got little ears and a little face, and spikies and stuff. He's adorable. So, like, compare that to, where'd that flower go? I'm going to show you guys that flower like 7 times, because that flower is just shameful. Where'd it go? Oh no, it's missing. There it is. Okay, so we went from this, just nothing, to this. I mean, look, that's a huge difference. And then something I did even more recently than those things. If you guys are following my Twitter, you'll have seen these already. But, like, I drew these butterflies and this flower. That's a whole lot more detail than that. I mean, really. And I used an outliner pen to actually give it some cartoony type aesthetic. Like, you can see how bold it is. Before I outlined it, it kind of looked kind of messy and kind of smudgy, but when you outline things with a darker contrasting color, if you're going with a toony look, then it really helps clean everything up. And then another thing that I did really recently is this. So, like, look at this flower. Look at this flower. Okay. And there's a dragonfly. That's a mushroom. Obviously, this is a swamp, right? Ignore the cattails. Don't look at those. I'm embarrassed about that. So you want to look at that. And just compare that to this. So you got this, and you've got this. Do we see the difference? I mean, honestly, how did I do this? And think it was worth keeping? How did I do that? And then, ooh, did I show you the vampire one? Vampiric, she doesn't have a reflection, but also I needed to practice my anatomy. I mean, vampires don't have reflections, but they do have boobs. Okay, we're gonna look at some of my drawings that I've posted on Twitter. You guys have seen these if you follow my Twitter too. So those are actually down here in my notepad. Don't mind my bedroom, it's a mess, but you didn't see it, so it's okay. Okay, some of my more recent things. This very shameful cat that I tried to draw, we're gonna ignore that. Okay, what do we have? Okay. So, the first time I got back into pencil sketching after my medications is this. This is a little Pinkie Pie. She has some weird tumor on her chest, but it's okay. She's still happy. My pencil sketching, this was when I first started getting back into pencil sketching, when I first started getting back into art seriously. So, the second thing I did was this Bulbasaur. Look how cute he is. He's so happy. And then I colored him in and I was so proud. Oh, and then there's this one. But this one is adorable. Look at him. He's so happy. And this just looks like he'd steal your cookies. And then we've got this Squirtle. There's something wrong with it. I don't know what's wrong with it, but there's something wrong with it. Like, I think its head shape is wrong. But, like, you know, I tried. It's better than nothing, right? It's better than that flower. Oh, and a Charmander that I didn't color in. This cute little Charmander. I was pretty proud of this Charmander, actually. He's kind of cute. He's pretty adorable, I think. And then that's a character concept that I'm not going to spoil, so I'm not going to show you guys. Spoilers for my book. Here's an Eevee I drew from memory. I actually drew this one from memory to try and test how good my memory was, and this actually turned out really well, because I literally did not use a reference for it. I mean, it looks a little funky. But from memory, that's actually pretty good for me. Because, again, Flowey does not have a leaf. Okay. And then I drew another My Little Pony. Because I was feeling a little extra that week. So I drew a My Little Pony, too. Is there anything else in this pad? Oh. My Puma. I tried to draw a cat. I tried to draw something that was realistic. It didn't turn out very well. I can't do realism. Look at its face. Just, okay, so the body's alright, right? And then you just, it's laughing at me. It's smirking. It's smirking at me. It's so rude. Is there anything else in here? Oh, my lizard. Drew a lizard. Drew a cute little bunny. Oh, my elephant. Oh, when I first got my oils, I started getting oil pastels for my birthday this year, and I wanted to play with them, and I had no idea how to use them, so I didn't bother to Google it or anything, I just went. And I did this, and it actually turned out really cute, but also it looks like garbage. But, like, it's an elephant. It's an elephant, it's cute, but also it's garbage. So, yeah. So that's how we went from detailless flower. That might be a tree, I'm not sure, I don't remember. And generic sunset number 6 to an actual scenery thing. Cartoons and actual art, like identifiable pieces of scenery and stuff. So, I'm not gonna throw these away immediately. I'm gonna throw some of them away because I'm very ashamed of some of these. But if anybody wants them, I'll mail them to you if you want them. So you can find me on Twitter and you can DM me if you want some of these. And I'll link my Twitter in the description. And, you know, you can, like, hang it on your fridge and pretend your kid drew it so you don't have to, like, hey, I got this free piece of art from a really bad artist. But if you want it, I'll send it to you, like... Just don't credit me when somebody asks who it was, because don't do that. Okay, but thank you guys for being here. Follow me on Twitter. Don't judge me, because I was 11. And that was my journey. That was my journey from acrylics on paper to actual oil pastels and acrylics on canvases and watercolors and stuff, you know? And I think it's important for these kinds of things to be shown because, you know, when I was 11 and I was doing art, I was starting art, I didn't have anybody to compare before and after to. I didn't have anything like that. And I'm still not great, so obviously there's still room for improvement. But when I was a kid, when I was looking at these things, it went straight from, like, this to, like, the Mona Lisa. Like, I didn't see the progress images or anything. I just saw garbage, Mona Lisa. And it just... I think it's important to show the steps between these things because I was so discouraged that I stopped for years. There's actually a 6-year gap between those first couple images and the last few that I did recently. That's why there's not a whole lot of improvement, is because there wasn't anyone that I saw that I could find that showed, hey, it gets better. You don't immediately become perfect, but you get better. So, if you're like 11 or 12 or